Welcome to the Slow Smoked Pigskin podcast. I'm Darren.
And I mean Drew. And this is
our podcast.
What are you doing? You're not Aaron.
You're not Drew.
I think we should go.
That was weird, right?
Yeah, it was.
Anyways, I'm Aaron,
I'm Drew.
and this is our podcast.
Subscribe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of the Slow Smoke Pigskin podcast. Pretty soon, I'm going to stop saying a number. I'm still Aaron. We got Drew, and
Hello.
once again, we've got guest host Janelle. You'll figure out why in a few minutes. So league news. We still got nothing going on in our league at the moment. However, the NFL, all teams are officially in training camp, which means off training camp hype season is upon us.
We need to get a countdown to how many days or days and then to hours to when season starts, because it's what 100, something less than 100 now.
No, it's under 50.
Exactly, that's less than 100.
Okay, true. Under 50 is under 100. This is a true statement.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's all sorts of hype videos, or hype quotes and whatnot coming out. Beat reporters making comments about things. We can't go through all of them, so we'll just go through some highlights. I have a list that I was going to go through, but real quick before that, considering we got Janelle and Drew here, I heard that AJ Dillon is in the best shape of his life.
Great trade all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, because he's still going to be the backup.
Until the starter gets hurt.
No, because
you never know until you know.
So exactly. Josh Jacobs and Marshawn Lloyd are going to play ahead of him. And then Jameson Williams apparently looks stronger, more explosive, with better body control, and looks like a different player than a year ago. But also, while catching a touchdown pass in practice, he apparently puked mid-stride, caught the ball, wiped off the puke, and kept going. So
he's got better body control minus his abdomen, which obviously he has no control over, apparently.
So apparently we're in JMO season.
You know what that tells me? That he's just a hard worker, and he's pushing himself to get better. And that was just, I think it's going to work out great for both parties.
Yeah, we shall see.
We'll see.
Brandon Ayuk, we haven't recorded in a few, so some of this news is a little bit older, but we're still going to go through it. Brandon Ayuk officially requested a trade from the 49ers after being upset that we've talked about a couple of times. However, he's still reported to training camp on time as he was supposed to, but he's not practicing. So he reported, but he's just not doing anything. So
that's half the battle. Showing up is half the battle.
Hey, it's better off than CD Lamb, who just didn't report. First, it was reported that he didn't get on the team plane to go, which wasn't mandatory, but then camp started and he didn't show as a.
I mean, he's not quite CD Lamb yet, so CD Lamb can get away with stuff like that.
Oh.
Brandon Ayuk can't get away with just not showing up, so. He's like, all right, I'm going to be part of the team, but I'm not. I want to make sure I know.
It's kind of funny. I was listening to something recently, and somebody was, both of them were drafted in the same class, and, CD was taken ahead of Ayuk. And I heard someone claiming that if they had switched spots and Ayuk ended up in Dallas with the situation, then Ayuk would have been where CD is now. Basically saying that they're both as good of players. It's just situationally that's better for CD. I don't know that I fully believe that, but
that's something that's really hard to prove.
Exactly.
Yes, you could say that, and yes, in reality, if you're saying that they were the same type of player coming out of college, and one went to a team with no wide receivers and became the number one, versus a guy who went to a team that has weapons and has to share his wealth around, then I mean, yeah, that you could argue it, but like how you can't prove that. Like,
Right.
but yeah, if Brandon Ayuk goes to a team where he can be the solid number 2/1, like is he going to perform? Probably, as long as he has a quarterback that can throw in the ball. Like,
anyways,
is he going to perform at the Raiders with Minshew as the quarterback? Like, I don't think that necessarily.
Yeah.
Is
okay. Enough on this hypothetical. More
Yes,
news.
sir.
Jordan Addison arrested in his second driving-related incident in 2 off seasons. For anybody who lives in LA, he was arrested because he was blocking a lane of the off-ramp from the 105 freeway at Sepulveda, asleep in his Bentley, and then got arrested for DUI. So right over by LAX, like, dude, somebody just get this kid a full-time driver. Like, it's so dumb.
That's the thing, though. The NFL provides a car service for every player. All they have to do is call, and someone will come pick them up. And that I'm not talking about Uber. I'm talking about like an actual NFL service. Like, this is what they provide.
Yeah.
You don't need to drive
NFL
fast,
Uber.
and you don't need to drive drunk.
Yeah, like, it's going to be interesting to see if this costs him games or what it's going to mean, especially considering he's not a first-time offender. So.
Right.
By the way, a week and a half ago, I believe it was July 15th was the deadline for franchise tagged players to sign a long-term extension. All of the players who were franchise tagged got an extension except T. Higgins. So to me,
that
that
because
says
they can't come to an agreement, or he wasn't offered.
How
does that work?
It could be they offered him what he didn't want, or they didn't make him an offer.
Right.
I don't know exactly. But to me, that means I doubt T. Higgins is going to be back in Cincinnati next year.
Right.
Caleb Williams, all rookies signed their rookie deals. But Caleb Williams, of course, had to try some funny stuff with his contract. So, first of all, he requested a no-tag clause. Now, that would be historic if any team ever agreed to it, because if they can't franchise tag him, it definitely changes what happens after 4 or, in his case, potentially 5 years with a 5th-year option. Obviously, the Bears declined. They're not going to go for that and set a precedent.
Thank you.
But ironically, he also requested if his contract could be paid out to an LLC so that he could get some tax benefits. It's like, man, this kid's just drama already.
He was drama before he got drafted, and they're like, yeah, this is a good idea. Yeah. He did sign the contract, his rookie contract, though, correct? Like,
yeah, he signed his.
It's all said and done, and everything is normal.
He just tried these funny things in the process.
The dude's gonna stub his toe, and he's gonna be out for 4 weeks. Like, it's just the way it's gonna be. Like,
yeah.
He's gonna get his nails painted, and it's gonna get infected, and he's gonna be like, I can't play.
Oh God. So Texans backfield, Joe Mixon has missed a couple of practices. It's so early, it doesn't really matter. However, they did sign Cam Akers. So off of all his injuries, I wasn't sure that he'd get a deal, but apparently he's getting a shot in Houston.
The backup to the backup, just in case. Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that. Joe Burrow, coming off his wrist injury, has no limitations in training camp. They said he's full good to go. That being said, I think they had previously referred to him as Joe Shiesty. It had become his nickname. Apparently this year they're calling him Slim Shiesty, because if you haven't seen it, he buzzed his head and dyed it blonde, and full-on Eminem look for that man.
Have not seen it, but I have seen the memes of him, like, whatever the Eminem for the VMAs, where it was him going out there, like, leading the charge. Like, I've seen the memes for it, but yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, no, he looks like the quote I've heard is that he looks like a mix of 90s Eminem and Cody Rhodes, the wrestler. If you don't know who it is, look it up. He looks very much like him.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny, but at least he's healthy, so that's the good news. as if the Kelsey brothers hadn't been doing enough with their life, they got a deal with, oh crap, is it General Mill, Kellogg's? I don't remember which one it is. One of them cereal companies. They are having a Kelsey Mix cereal come out, which is a combination of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs, because apparently that's their favorite. I think they should have called it the Diabetes Special instead of the Kelsey Mix. But yeah, I mean, come on.
That sounds disgusting.
I mean,
cinnamon,
sugar,
marshmallow,
and peanut
butter.
Yeah, what's the problem?
I don't know. It sounds gross.
A lot of flavors.
Yeah,
it might be too many. Like I could see...
like Lucky Charms is fantastic by itself. I could see cinnamon peanut butter, but like,
dude, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch is one of
my teeth are hurting right now thinking about it.
Oh,
yes,
absolutely.
You're correct.
Aaron Rodgers, after he was on some podcast, because he's always on some freaking podcast, and now all of a sudden he's saying he might not play after 2024 when he was claiming that he's still got 2 good years at least, but now he's saying, oh well, I wanted to have at least 2 good years at the end, but my injury last year might have changed that, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. That guy's so much drama. But
wait to see how the year turns out, and we'll see what happens. Speaking
of him, his replacement, Jordan Love, which, by the way, it's just so not fair that if Jordan Love is really this good, that the Packers just have 3 in a row. Like, it's just not fair. Anyways,
that's a different... We could do a whole episode on how to make players better and not just start them right away when they come out.
Yeah. But either way, he's showed up for training camp as he's supposed to, but he's been guided by the team that he's not practicing until they work out a contract extension for him.
The team is saying this.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Huh.
And the rumors I've been hearing is that it might be the highest
like Mahomes money
contract. Well, per year.
More. Oh,
so
okay.
like Mahomes got like a 10-year deal.
Yeah.
So it was more overall, but like how Trevor Lawrence's new contract tied for the most average per season. Supposedly, this has the potential to be beating it, which is just insane to make. Like, don't get me wrong, he had a good year last year.
He did,
but
they have money to spend though. That's where you get some of these teams, like you can't give certain players because they have too much money to spread around, or not enough money to spread around to everybody. Yeah. But I mean, they don't have they have a young receiving crew, young quarterback. They just paid what, $8 million, I think, for Jacobs? Yeah.
12. Or the first,
which is really not. That's really nothing though.
So his contract, I think, was 4 years, 48, but only like 14 guaranteed.
Yeah, it wasn't
all of it was like in like year 1, basically. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. Other quarterbacks, Sam Darnold is getting the first team reps in Minnesota. JJ McCarthy, he's getting the majority. He's not getting all of them. Apparently, JJ McCarthy is going to get some. By the way, if you look up the starting schedule for the beginning schedule of the season for the Vikings, it's rough. So I think they're just going to go out and
out there.
I think they're going to go sacrifice him for those tough matchups and then probably bring in JJ. But that's my guess.
Like my point is that when you take someone like the Packers who have 3 quarterbacks back to back, like none of them started year 1. No one started them day 1. Like you got it's different. Even no matter how good you are, like you're not that good.
Mahomes didn't start the beginning of year 1. But anyways, speaking of the Chiefs, Kadarius Toney is apparently taking snaps at running back. And now, honestly, if you think about it, this is probably a genius thing because we don't have to worry about him catching the ball.
Yeah.
Since he can't do that at all.
Hopefully he can catch a handoff.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, the reality is Kadarius Toney's always been better after the catch, with his shiftiness and whatnot. But, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco is still easily the number 1. 100%. And then another report came out that even though they re-signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a 1-year deal, he's not getting the second shot at running back snaps in camp right now. So, yeah, if something happens to Pacheco,
I'm a fantasy owner, so like I think that this is like a good move. Like he wasn't going to be a receiver. Like he wasn't going to.
Oh, Tony?
He wasn't going to give me any points for that. So it's kind of like there's a candle lit light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe before he gets thrown to the wayside, because he's not going to be worth it.
One more piece. Michael Gallup is retiring. I only threw that out there since I'm a Cowboys fan. And
of course,
he was good for a couple of years, and then they gave him a giant contract. He got hurt, was never the same. Signed with the Raiders in the offseason, and apparently just said, "Nope, I'm done." 28 years old and done. So
that's crazy. 28?
Yeah, he was only 28. And then, like I said, since training camp started, we got a bunch of official people being put on the physically unable to perform list. Now, the funny thing about it is in training camp, you can literally be put on it for like one day. For example, Jaden Reed was put on to start training camp, and like 2 days in, he was already off the list. So, and some of them are tagged. There are different reasons for being tagged on PUP. One of them is they call NFI, non-football injury. So if you had something happen away from the team. So some of the big names, Keaton Mitchell, running back for the Ravens, who looked good last year. He was expected to start on the PUP because he tore an ACL late in the season. Rookie wide receiver Ricky Pearsall for the 49ers started on the NFI with a hamstring injury. Doesn't sound like it's anything that's going to be major. Mike Williams,
not going to play anyway. So
for the Jets, we expected him to be starting on the PUP with his ACL. TJ Hawkinson obviously started on the PUP with his ACL tear. They are, however, reporting that he is well ahead of timeline. Everybody's always ahead of timeline these days, it seems like, but he is well ahead of timeline. Theo,
that's surprising because he's a big dude. Like it takes a little bit longer for those guys to repair.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to be back for the start of the season. I'd be shocked. Theo Johnson, rookie tight end for the Giants. He was started on the PUP with a hip flexor. Doesn't sound like anything that's going to really cost time. Jonathan Brooks, rookie running back. He, coming off an ACL.
Coming off of it, yeah.
That was expected. Tyler Higbee with a torn ACL and MCL. He was placed on the PUP as we expected. And then the Dolphins put OBJ on. I didn't hear what his ailment was. So in my notes, I think it's just because he's old.
He needs an extra day off. They all get 1 day off. He gets 2.
So
he's earned it.
So
he's had one good catch his entire season. He's earned it. No, I'm just kidding.
So there are, like I said, news is coming fast and furious at this time of the year. A lot of it's hype, so take some of it with a grain of salt. Coaches say everybody's always in the best shape of their life, and they look so fantastic. I mean, I've had Rashad Bateman sitting on my team for a couple of years. There's so much hype on him this offseason. I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but we'll see.
Hype is hype. It is what it is until
it's fun. Hey,
until it comes down to it.
It means football's almost here.
Exactly.
That's what matters.
I just got back from vacation and I'm like, oh, summer's over. Cool.
Yeah, it is so crazy. The kids go back to school in
3 weeks.
3 weeks. It's like
3 weeks and then football.
Wait, Janelle, are you muted? Because I keep seeing you mouth things but not hearing anything.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, okay.
I think you guys just both talk way louder than I talk, so I don't stand a chance.
Well, we all know I'm loud. It's kind of a known thing. Speaking of, that kind of segues us.
That's a good segue right there.
Yeah. What are we doing today?
All right, so I'm gonna take over the helm, and Janelle is gonna play my role because we are going to interview Mr. Aaron, the commish, as our Meet the Manager,
aka Champ, aka Jew, aka Wiki
Juicy.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you put this together so everybody knows you. What's so funny? All right. So let's just quickly go through a couple of things. You give us, you're married to Janelle. We all know that. Like, give us your family, give us your age, where are you from, where are you at now?
I'm 41 years.
But yourself.
I'm still only 40. I'll be 41 this year. I have my wife Janelle, got 2 kids. Everybody should know that. Originally from a suburb of Los Angeles, went from there to Anchorage, Alaska, went from Anchorage, Alaska to a suburb of Portland, Oregon, and now we are in a suburb of Denver. So I basically just like to be in suburbs of big cities in general, but keep it.
No one likes to be in the big city, so that's I'm okay with that.
I want the amenities, but I want like a quieter life. Like,
of course,
if I want to go downtown, I can. But that's a very rare occasion because, especially at this point, I'm just old and there's too many young people that I can't handle in those downtown-y places.
Yes.
Fair. Very fair.
So what is it that you do?
I am called a process safety engineer. And so basically, I work for places that have nasty stuff, either toxic, flammable, explosive, and try and make sure shit doesn't go wrong. Is the simple version of what I do.
Wonderful. And you got your degree where?
UCLA in mechanical engineering, even though what I do now is much more like a chemical engineer. But I got accepted.
6 of one, half a dozen of another. It's the same thing.
It's an engineering degree. It's fine. I don't my title has engineer. I tell people like I'm not a real engineer at this point. If you ask me to design something, we're all fucked.
Yes, and I actually lived with Aaron when he was going through school. So that was always fun to have him, his different classes and whatnot that he was going through.
It was the funnest part about that is that when Drew and I lived together, he was 21 and I was 20, so we couldn't go out drinking. Yet that was the point in my life where I probably drank the most. Because when you're just gonna sit at home and kill a bottle of Jack in a night, like it's cheap.
We drank entirely too much at that point.
Oh, so much. Oh, actually, I didn't drink Jack back then. I'm sorry. You were drinking Jack back then, and I was on Wild Turkey 101 back then.
Yes.
Boy.
Yeah. Jimmy didn't like Wild Turkey.
Oh, Jimmy, do you wrong? No, Jimmy, do you right? Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in so long. Oh man,
no one knows what we're talking about. But okay,
so quick story. It was like one of those like rate me websites that I think I was on trying to find women at the time because this was before Janelle, and like we got drunk one night and Drew like put on like some.
That was the redneck in me coming out.
Yeah, and like we had like a fake rifle, and
that wasn't fake.
I don't think it was it.
I think you had.
Anyway, and he took a picture and he put it on this website. But we named the guy. We put his name.
Jimmy, do you right? Jimmy, do you wrong? Something. Yeah.
It was just Jimmy, do you right? Jimmy, do you wrong? No, bitch.
There's a shotgun and a bottle of Wild Turkey with like a cut off flannel.
Yeah, and a cowboy hat. It was great.
Yeah.
Anyways, boy. Boy.
Good times. All right, so we all know we have our strengths and we have our weaknesses. So one of your weaknesses is the team that you support. Who's your NFL team?
Is this really a question like everybody doesn't know already?
We just got to talk
about
it.
I am a Cowboys fan.
Flaws. Everybody has their flaws, and that is Aaron's.
That's okay.
I've accepted it.
So I became a Cowboys fan because the last Super Bowl they won, I believe, was 96, I think. So
you're the fan.
It was either 95 or 96. I can never remember for some reason. So I was a little kid at the time, was at 94, 90. So I was born in 83. So 11, 12, something like that. I made a bet with my mom 2 Super Bowls in a row, right? It was Cowboys, Bills, 2 in a row. Mm-hmm. So both years I took the Bills, bet my mom $5. Lost both times. And I was a little kid. I was like, screw this. I'm a Cowboys fan now. And I stuck with it ever since. Unfortunately, since then, it's been 30 years that they haven't won a goddamn thing. But at least it shows my loyalty. Like, I have stuck with it. I absolutely hate Jerry Jones. He's a moron. Like, Stephen Jones is a moron. Like, the way they run the team is so dumb, but I'm not going to give up on my team. But I'm also not the Cowboys fan, the stereotypical fan who's like every year's like, oh, yeah, it's our year. We're winning the chip. No, we ain't going to win shit this year. Like, we're probably going to end up 11-6 and lose in the first round of the playoffs. Maybe if we get lucky, win one playoff game and then lose.
But are you cool? Like, hey, at least we made the playoffs.
I mean, it's better than not making the playoffs. But if the team
though?
was run, yeah.
If you make the playoffs and lose in the first round every single year, is that better than losing and rebuilding?
The team isn't bad enough to like be at a full rebuild, but they're also not making, like, honestly, with a couple of the right moves, either last year or this year, they could have been legit Super Bowl contenders, but those 100%. Moves haven't been made.
100%.
So like, the problem is you can't. The only way they can blow it up, is not re-sign CeeDee, not re-sign Dak, not re-sign Micah. Just let all this talent walk, and then next year they could lose. Because I mean, Dak and Micah are playing this year. You can't
re-sign them and trade them and get something for it. If you just don't re-sign them, you're just going to lose them. You're not. That's not you're not getting anything.
Dude,
for it.
I have no faith in this. In the management doing anything halfway intelligent, so I
will give you the props that at least you're sticking with it and you support that hat and that jersey every single week.
It is my uniform for the podcast.
Okay.
If he had to get rid of one of us, it would be me and not his team.
Oh.
Is
that true?
He's loyal.
Wait, was that a question?
Loyal.
Is that
no?
It's a statement.
That's
but
a statement.
Are you gonna? You're gonna.
I'm saying.
Are you agreeing
you are
with that?
loyal, 100%. I'm okay with that.
I'm sorry, but
I have comments I can.
I would take anything over the Cowboys.
It's true. I'm a winner.
All I'm gonna say, Janelle, warm hole.
Jesus Christ.
She knows what that means. I'm not going past that. Move on to the next question.
I think we all know what a warm hole is. Like, I think we all know what that means. Unless there's something else. I don't want to. All right. So we know you changed your team name, and we all know why. And obviously, congratulations on that one. But so here's a question: like, what are your thoughts on team names? Like, do you think that they should be for the person, for the team, for the like a lot of them are based off of like maybe your first pick or your second pick, and it's like geared towards a player on your team, but it's different in Dynasty. So what are your thoughts on team names?
So generally, in my opinion, you want your team name to be some kind of pun related to one of your top players or somebody you like the most, right? Like last year, my team was named Give Me All the TP because for Tony Pollard. Like, I had high hopes for Tony Pollard, and then he sucked last year. But, like, I don't know if you could even...
still won!
I don't know if you could tell, but, like, in the little avatar, I had a picture of Tony Pollard, and I very crudely in paint put 2 toilet paper rolls in his hand. Yeah. So it was supposed to be funny. But, like...
It's great.
There should be some type of pun. It should be either related to you or related to a player on your team. Now, I do believe very strongly that it needs to be a player on your team. Like, so for example, I traded away Tony Pollard, so I can't keep that name anymore.
Okay.
Like, in my opinion.
Right. So you're okay with changing your team name on a yearly basis?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean, like, I have my go-tos, and, like, it depends if it's redraft, dynasty.
I'm super bummed that Drew Brees retired because it was perfect because it was fit me and it fit my quarterback, but now it's just me.
That's kind of how I felt about Ben.
Right.
Yeah. She had Ben there raped that for so many years. Even after he retired, she still used that name.
I kind of think that's okay though. Like it pays homage to somebody that he's not on anybody else's team. So you can still use that. Like he retired when you had him. So I'll accept that.
I can accept that. Like, if it's an active player, I don't think it should be.
I don't
on some. If they're not on your team and they're an active player, then I don't think you should have that name.
Get that.
I think that's what we should do. We should vote on team names, and if you get last place, we should. Or even better idea. If you get the toilet bowl, we should pick your name next year.
Winner picks the loser's name.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's fun.
Okay. Oh, so before we introduce you, we probably should have gone over your stats, your digits.
Winner, blah, blah, blah.
Right. So overall, he's 64-20. Oh, we have a surprise visitor.
The best kind. Hey, girl.
Say hi. They're all saying hello to you.
Hi.
Hi, Lily. Stats?
Your stats are you're a winner.
64-20 all time. Solid. In 2021, you got third. 2022, you got second. 2023, you got first. So he put all these little extra tidbits in here. Most points by 400 plus. So he's had the best team over the 3-year span, which is the point he's trying to make. Yes.
Winner.
Lowest points against.
That one was actually surprising. But then again, it sort of makes sense to an extent because I never have to play myself.
Can you please
help the child? Help the child.
I don't know what she wants.
You can sell that one for a vacation.
Can I just loan? Can I put her on lease her out to someone? Because I like her. I want her back. Lowest point, only third most transactions.
Yeah, that one's actually shocking to me.
I'm assuming Steve has the most. Probably. I don't know if you've looked into it, but
when I looked, I think it was
Steve
and Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie changes kickers and defenses and defensive players like he changes tampons. I don't know.
I'm just saying.
Least. I do the least.
I'm just saying. I was actually surprised. I thought that I would have been at the top on that.
So Steve, obviously, he had to make a whole boatload of transitions or transactions.
You mean like 32 different defensive players?
Exactly. Like that's
right.
He had to keep going through it. So I understand him. So between you and Eddie, I would have guessed probably you two because you're obviously the most.
And then I said by far the most. Like the stats it gave was how many messages are sent. And I think
you're the commish. Of course you're gonna have more.
I just thought it was funny because I had 1,600.
And he likes to talk.
And the next one was 600.
Yeah, I don't know. I fall in there somewhere probably in the middle because it's depending on the time of day. Sometimes there's a lot of conversation going on and I miss half of it, and it's there's no point in going into back into the middle. But anyway,
6. No, I'm not even sure how to check them.
Exactly. Now you do what you're supposed to do as a commissioner, and you're engaging, and you try to get everybody else engaged. So it's much appreciated.
Good job.
Yes. All right. So back to personal stuff. What do you like to do? What do you do when you're not listening to 15 different podcasts and tinkering with your lineup?
Speaking of that, I was curious. How many hours a week do you think you spend on fantasy football during the season? Oh, I don't give a shit. He knows that.
That's a trick question because I listen to podcasts while I work. I listen to podcasts while I work out.
That was going to be my next question.
I listen to fantasy podcasts while doing lots of other things. How much actual time
I will say, as a working dad and a family man, you do a very good job of doing all your stuff during the working man hours. You spend your time with your family and you're like, I don't have time to do this right now. I'm doing this. But when you're at work, you're like, oh yeah, I'm all about this. Work can screw up.
All in the car together. If we're all in the car together, we are listening to a fantasy football podcast. Don't let me. His car, 100% of the time. Road trips, absolutely. The kids are like, okay, here we go.
That's what I should have put on for my 5-hour drive from St. Louis to Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many fantasy football podcasts do you listen to?
I know of at least 4.
Right?
I think I have probably like 6. But you have to realize, like, a bunch of them have like 1 episode a week, so it's not like it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Well,
it's nice that you have a drive. You also have a drive to work. Like, I can't do that because my drive to work is 4 minutes.
Like, I have a 20-minute drive to work, and I go to the gym for 30 minutes to an hour in the morning, so I can kill between the drive to work and the gym. Like, I easily kill 1 podcast.
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn. I mean, you listen to another one there.
Yeah. So I do it while I'm doing other things.
I'm not complaining. You do a very good job.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the best.
Ironically, I
talk to him the most when he's at work. It's great.
Yeah.
Sames.
Yeah.
No, you don't answer texts.
Hopefully you're... Who?
Yes, actually, both of you. You are 2 of the worst people I know responding to texts.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Now, hold on a second. I work nights.
Even when you're
I sleep during the day.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
You're right, it doesn't.
I was going to say, I'm not going to try to defend myself. I'm a horrible human, and I am really bad.
My favorite, I just figured out the other day a trick to make it work with her, because what'll happen is, like, I will send her, like, a text that she doesn't respond to, and then, like, an hour later, I'll send her a text on a different topic or something. I realized what she normally does is by the time she gets back to her phone, she only looks at the last one.
So that's the most important one that you said?
So no, what I have to start doing is if I
only
send
one I'll respond to.
So I have to start numbering them. So, like, I'll send the first one. If I'm going to then send a second something, I put 2. So that she knows that she needs to go back and look at something above that. Because otherwise she ain't responding to it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I'm just...
1 yes, 2 no, 3 maybe.
There's so many things where I'll send something, I'll send something else, I'll send something else. And then, like, 6 hours later, I'm like, hey... I needed you to answer me about this topic. She's like, you send me something about that? Let me scroll up. Oh, yeah, there it is.
I'm not sure how I'm alive.
I'm just going to blame it on really shitty service here. And it's like, sometimes I get the text messages and sometimes I don't. Like, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next question.
All right. I think you've mentioned it before on this podcast, but what did you want to be when you grew up? When you were younger, when you were going to be a grown-up?
Yeah, there was 2 things I wanted to be. One was a professional baseball player.
I knew that one.
But fat and slow, so that didn't work out. And bad knees. And I was a catcher, and my knees didn't like
John Crook.
Yeah, well.
You rock it at old man softball. Okay, give yourself some credit.
I'm so old and sad in old man softball. So many injuries. And then... the other thing I wanted to be was I wanted to be an archaeologist because I loved dinosaurs when I was a kid. But then, like, as I got older and I found out what archaeologists actually do, like, in terms of, like, sitting there and digging and, like, brushing stuff off all day, sounded absolutely horrible. I was like, I'm out. So, yeah, those were the 2, but I was like, archaeologist is not happening.
All right.
Okay, so Aaron, I got a question for you. It's a would you rather. Would you rather hit a red light for the rest of your life, like every red light for the rest of your life, or always have really shitty, slow internet?
Oh my goodness. I know what I would do.
Probably.
It's not about me though, so.
Oh God, it's probably red light. Like, yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Luckily, I do like some highway driving and stuff. So at least on the highway, you don't hit a red light. But
yeah, but you get very angry. You don't.
I do. Like, I admit that openly.
100%. I agree. But I feel like you would be able to figure out a route where you could make right-hand turns and only have to stop and make left-hand turns every like 3 or 4, and you'd be okay with it.
I'd drive through neighborhoods. I'd make 3 rights to equal a left. Like,
he would circle. Yeah. He would rather drive 45 minutes out of the way to not hit a red light and come all the way back around. Like, he would figure it out 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm with you on that one.
I mean,
that sucks.
Slow internet's horrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The
What's the
worst.
point
And
of
your
rushing?
children
What's
would
the
be
point of
miserable.
rushing? What's the point of rushing home to slow internet?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'll just stay at work longer.
I would gladly sit at every red light so that I did not have to hear a child complain.
Yeah.
Every red light.
Yeah.
Not even a question for me. So
Yeah.
I have another one. Would you rather have Puka Nuka or Cooper Cup? Considering second year wide receivers who did well in their rookie seasons can be good investments.
Puka.
Hold on. Question. Puka Nuka now, obviously, into his second. What? Did I say it wrong?
Both of you, his name is Nakua, but that's fine.
It's Puka
Whatever.
Nuka. That's what I
No,
call
Puka
him
Nuka.
from day one, my friend.
Yeah. And Cooper Cup in his, like, at the same
Second.
time, or Cooper Cup now? No, yeah,
Second
okay.
season.
Right, okay.
Wait, no. Well, Cooper Cup wasn't good at the beginning of
It was his
career.
third year, correct?
I thought it was even longer than that.
Was it?
Before.
I don't know.
Cooper Cup. So I like the question, but Cooper Cup in his prime year, what is it? His MVP year? No,
he won the
Offensive Player of the
fantasy
Year?
triple. I can't remember what real life awards he won, but it was the year where he won the fantasy triple crown.
that year or Puka Nuka.
I mean, Cooper Cup's for sure. Then I mean, like Puka Nakua had the greatest season for a rookie.
It's true,
Right.
But
it still didn't match the.
It's still it still didn't touch what Cooper Cup did.
It's true.
So that's why it depends on how you phrase the question.
Know.
Like today, obviously I want Puka Nakua over Cooper Cup. But prime Cooper Cup was so you could ask the question, do I think Puka Nakua is going to have a better season in his career than Cooper Cup had that season? I doubt it. Stafford's getting older, and who knows what they're doing.
On who his quarterback is going to be. Yeah,
right.
Of course.
So, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Good. I like those. All right, I got one. Oh, you have a question, Aaron?
No, I was waiting for next question.
Oh, next question. So you won. It's like a 2 or 3 part question. Would you trade your fantasy championship for a Dallas Cowboys championship?
Ooh.
It.
Ooh.
I like it, sir.
There's more to this. There's follow-up questions. So let's answer this one first.
No, I'd probably keep fantasy.
Would you trade a future? Now that you've won, would you rather go back-to-back fantasy or Cowboys win?
Back-to-back.
Like next season.
So you're all about fantasy. You give a fuck about.
I mean, I care about the
Cowboys.
Cowboys, but the difference is I don't bet on the Cowboys because I don't want to bet on.
You're not making. It's not like you're making buco bucks on.
That's the only way he's going to win is if he bets on himself. The Cowboys are going to let him down all the time.
Oh wow! All right.
I mean,
you wouldn't
$500 last year.
You wouldn't pay $500 for the
complaining.
Cowboys to win a Super Bowl?
Nah.
Dang. All right.
Okay, so you always ask the question, who do you find as your biggest rivalry? Who do you like losing to the least?
I feel like I answered this question sometime in this league. So,
But I haven't listened to them all, so help me out here. Do me a solid, man.
I feel like you have, but I was like, yeah.
I think I answered Steve, just because I don't like losing to Steve. I would generally say
Who does?
I don't like losing to Eddie, but Eddie's team's been so bad I don't have to I don't look at him as real competition right now, so I'm not overly concerned about that one. I did hate losing to Vernon before he left. With his douchiness. So I guess right now it'd probably have to be Steve, especially because now even worse, because I have the championship, I do not want him to knock me off my throne 3 years after or 4 years after his draft start. I need to not let him take a championship until I have to go to a rebuild.
Let's modify the question a little bit.
Okay.
Throughout the regular season, on a week-to-week basis, who would you hate to lose? Because you're talking about like you would hate to lose a championship to Steve. Is that the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. I probably.
So who would like? All right. So who like? Steve's not in the picture of the championship. Like who? That's the who would. There's so Steve is your arch.
It's probably
your
Steve.
Kryptonite.
Although I don't like losing to Janelle either, because
that was what I was getting at. Like, is it better to beat Janelle or better to lose to Janelle?
So it's a lose-lose situation. It feels like more loss if I lose to her because of as she liked to point out, the amount of time I spend on fantasy football and the fact that she can probably name 4 of the players on her team right now.
100%.
So
I texted her 100%. Earlier and I was like, hey, so what you got some questions? Like, the questions written down? Like, I'm just going to wing it and I can come up with questions off the top of my head. It's all good. And she's like, well, I don't even know who's on my team, so I don't know what kind of questions to ask.
Yeah.
So I tried.
So that part definitely.
So at this point, I don't want to lose to Janelle. Like,
guys, I do okay.
You do great.
Dude,
you've done better than me.
If you look at Dynasty Pros,
I have a solid team, and if I knew how to actually play fantasy football and I put a little more effort into it, I think I would do okay because I have a solid team.
You do.
I do.
Even with AJ Dillon.
Hey,
I'm pretty sure Dynasty. Like, if you look at Dynasty and their rankings, I think she's second. She's either second or third.
There was a point in time. I think pre-draft she was first in Dynasty
for a minute. Yeah,
I think for a little. Yeah, it goes back and forth depending on what's going on with the players and stuff like that. But where they rank them and the values that they rank.
She got some hits on some draft picks and young players who even early picks who panned out like. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Najee. Like, if Javonte comes back, she's real scary. You gave her Jonathan Taylor. But he hasn't fully panned out to what he hasn't. But if he does, and she's got Mahomes. Like, she's got a scary team.
I don't disagree.
I just have to care a little bit more.
Tiny bit.
Yeah.
Hey, but I have fun and I like being here. So thanks, guys.
No worries.
I want to say she's been since day one of our fantasy journey, not necessarily Dynasty, but Yahoo. No, she came in later.
Yeah, I don't think she started right at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've been around for a long time.
Right. Yeah, it's probably been at least 10 years, but I don't think she started.
She's the old lady of the league.
Yeah.
I am. And I like that title.
Okay, question.
You got any more, Janelle?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, I could start asking questions, but.
All right, so it's a house divided. It's a Cowboys and Steelers house. Okay. Would you rather have the Cowboys lose to the Steelers or you lose to Janelle for that week?
For 1 week?
Specifically, let's just say the weeks tie up specifically, yes.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
The Cowboys lose to the Steelers, 100%. No?
Yeah, he's not a Cowboys fan. This is what this is all.
No, I'd rather lose.
He needs to pick a new team.
No, I'd rather lose to you in fantasy than the Cowboys lose to the Steelers in real life. If it's 1 week,
okay.
You care more about.
Now he cares more about the Cowboys.
Because I will catch more crap.
Now he cares more about me.
I will catch more crap about the Cowboys losing to the Steelers than I will losing to Janelle in fantasy.
100%. You lose to me in fantasy, I'm not going to say anything. Other way around, I'm going to be tooting that horn.
Exactly. This is purely based on the amount of crap I'm going to catch. I will catch a lot of crap if the Steelers beat the Cowboys. I won't crack.
You're good at catching crap, though. So
I am good at that.
I would say that, like, that's a fine line of, like, the amount that you can catch. Like, you can catch a lot.
He does well. He does well.
I think so.
What's your favorite part about being the commissioner?
Ooh, good one.
Making sure stuff happens. Like, you know, it's, I don't think of being commissioner as control. Like, I really don't. And I like to believe that I don't run the league that way. Like, I make everything democratic, but I make sure things get done. And that's, like, I trust me to get it done and be fair.
Me too, man. Me too.
Like, I don't have the need to be the commissioner. If I'm in a league with somebody else being commissioner and they're a good commissioner and run it, hell, all I have to do is play, and that's great. But
how many leagues have you been in where you've enjoyed the commissioner?
A few. Like, most of the time, like, I don't mind. Honestly, like, I obviously take commissioner to a psychotic level past most people. Like, we know this. But, like, if
you do and you don't. Like, you do in this league because of the importance of, like, what everybody is, the amount of money that we put in, the amount of money that we put into the league is basically what it comes down to. Because Yahoo is like, which is the other league that we play in, but it's like, you do a great job there too, but it's like, obviously this is the important league.
Yeah, for redraft, all you have to do is make sure your settings are right, make sure everybody pays, and then, like, every once in a blue moon, there's some kind of question or drama during the season, but it's rare. Like, honestly, as a commissioner, you shouldn't be stepping in the vast majority of the time. Like, you should generally, for a redraft league, set it up, get it done. Like, you don't need to do a whole lot.
How hard was COVID?
I mean, it was a slight pain, but not that bad. Like, you know, if you remember, we set up those rules where I was like, hey, if you need to, send me a message beforehand that says a player. But honestly, it came up like twice, maybe. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. You do a good job.
Thank you.
I think that as a commissioner, you're very detail oriented, but you're not, like, super neurotic. So thanks for that.
Thank you. I try.
Well, you do okay.
Would you ever take a bribe?
No. In fantasy or in life?
I got a lot.
Wait a second.
Fantasy is life, okay? Just so you know, it's life. So, I mean,
I got a lot I can bribe you with.
I could bribe Janelle, and Janelle could bribe you, and we can make things happen.
Winning.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Winning.
In fantasy, no. Like, I was joking in anyways. Like, I would not take a bribe in general. I don't think either.
I think
it'd have to be really. I mean, you come offer me $1 billion with a B. Like, we could talk about whatever the hell you want.
Anything with a B is okay with you. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I'm confused at where you were going with that.
B. You said billion.
Yeah, if you offer me $1 billion, if you owe me $1 billion, there's a whole
giving you
lot of
money. This is
exactly. So no.
All right.
Boobs. That's a B.
Boobs. 1. But 1.
Okay, next question.
Bottomless mimosas.
No, in fantasy, I won't take a bribe.
Listen. You are the guest on this show, so you don't get to say integrity. Next question.
Okay, fine.
Integrity.
Next.
All right.
What's your least favorite part about being the commissioner? What do you find the most annoying and the hardest part? Like, that you just hate doing? Because it's got to be there.
Honestly, the only thing I hate doing that, like, comes to the top of my head is having to replace players. Like, that is annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that makes sense. I hadn't thought about that.
Like, that piece is very frustrating. We set up a Dynasty League with the thought that
it's only frustrating because we set up a dynasty and it's meant to be longevity. That's the whole point of the league.
Admittedly,
ever.
I hate it for redraft too. It's annoying, but
10 times more easier.
It is like
still a pain. Still a pain.
But like honestly, like I don't get too many complaints. I really don't. Like I don't get a lot of arguments. It doesn't happen all that often, and I like to believe in life in general. I'm pretty logical and fair. So like I just go with the fair answer in general. So it's not a big deal most of the time. But yeah, having to replace players and dealing with that drama that sometimes comes along with it. Guys stealing the trophy, another guy who goes off on me because I asked him to pay his league dues. Like,
how dare you?
Oh, dude,
how dare you, sir?
That's why that guy got booted. It was because like I asked him for his money and he went off on me about how I was just trying to screw him over and just wanted a league with only my friends and he wasn't a close friend. And that's why I was like, bro, I've been asking you for $100 for 2 months. Like, it shouldn't be a big deal. Like,
right.
Like, I'm not trying to screw you. I asked for the league dues, which weren't a surprise. So that's probably my only real frustration. In general, like, I've commissioned a lot of leagues at this point, and it's not a big deal.
What is your one thing that, like, pick one thing that you want to change about the league? Like, what's your passion about the league that you want to make different? I know we've talked about a few things.
Yeah, like
I'm sure you've talked about things with other managers, because obviously you're very versed with all of them.
You're
but
a
like,
chatty Cathy.
At this point, like
he's got time on his hands at work.
In the
some of us do work for a living.
So does he. He's so good at his job, he can spend half his time on fantasy football.
Greatest quality, multitasking.
That guy.
Do you guys act like I literally spend like it takes 4 seconds to send a text? It's not that hard. It takes
so
that
much work.
Time of my day.
So much work.
But anyways, you made me forget things I want to change. Like honestly, like
I'll send a text on my next 2-minute CPR pulse check.
Perfect. Like at this point, so it's funny because like I introduced IDPs to leagues a bunch of years ago, and for Dynasty, I want to get rid of it. I'd probably like to get rid of kicker and defense, just because in the Dynasty setting, I don't like it as much. But
okay, so
other than that, like there's not a lot that I really. The only reason, honestly, the reason I keep proposing things is not because I necessarily want changes, but I want other people
no,
to
this isn't engaged. I want to know what you want. I don't care what everybody else is telling you. My question is personal. Like what do you like you're that's what makes you a good commissioner, is that you're very like inclusive of what everybody wants. Yeah. I want to know what you want.
Like I'm saying, the one thing I would probably do at this point is get rid of, for sure, defense, special teams, possibly kicker, possibly IDP.
In that order?
Probably defense, IDP, kicker. If I had to put them in order.
And when you do that, you add just roster spots, or do you add a wide receiver and a running back?
Nothing. You leave the starting players the same, and it basically equates to getting 2 more bench spots.
Mm.
And with us going to Superflex, everybody's going to have to get more quarterbacks anyways. Like, when we go Superflex...
But you're adding a roster spot, so that's adding 3 roster spots. If we do what you want, that's adding 3 roster spots?
I got a lot of quarterbacks.
Potentially,
I'm ready.
If we got rid of all 3. Like, I don't know. Yeah. You're asking me this question on the spot, so I hadn't worked out the details. But in general...
That's the point of this.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying I would probably... if we got rid of all 3, I don't think I would want to keep all 3 roster spots. I'd probably have 2. like I said, we're going to need an extra roster spot to carry more quarterbacks.
Right.
So yeah, probably one to two would be good. I don't know.
And that's not based off of like majority of points. That's just based off of like wanting to carry players, right?
Right?
Yeah, like
because you're not going to gain. You're not. The point totals will actually go down.
They'll go down because we'll remove those positions.
Right.
I mean, we could talk about adding. Well, I mean, we were already double flex, and we're going to be double flex plus super flex plus.
I say we just go to two kickers.
No,
get rid of IDP. Get rid of defense. And go to two kickers.
Sure, why not? I think there literally would be. Well, yeah, I guess not. Nothing.
What's the max number of rookie that you can have? 5?
Right now, our taxi squad is
taxi squad.
Our taxi squad is 5.
Can you make it 6?
You could always add one to the taxi.
Yeah. There's lots of things you could like. Honestly, I'm generally happy with the league settings. I personally am so glad I did the median thing. It's one of my favorite things that I've implemented within, I don't know, was that the last 5 years? I love that rule.
Yeah. I love hate it. Mostly love. Partially hate. Only when I'm losing.
I only hate it when I lose the median by like a couple points. That's the only time I hate it.
It's the worst.
Well, the funniest part is that it's not an actual median anyways. So
I've never actually done the math.
Well, I looked into this because Eddie and I were having a math debate and I had never paid attention before. So it's not actually the median of the whole league. Like you add them all up and divide them by 12. That's not what the median is. No. What the median value is for our league is actually halfway between whoever has the 6th highest score and the 7th highest score. So
that's
it's
interesting.
Not actual median. It's just basically the top 6 teams and the bottom 7. It's bottom 6.
Right. That's yeah. Which would have you done the? I mean, that would take a lot of work. But doing the math and see, like that's to me, that's the same thing.
It's not though, because you could potentially, like let's say everybody had a down week, right? But one team had like a giant week.
Right.
The median could be like
40,
and like there's 8 teams that scored over that.
So only the top 6 teams can get that extra point.
Correct. It's always only 6. Yeah, so it's not actually a true median. It's the top 6 versus the bottom 6 every week get a win and loss accordingly.
Interesting.
Very interesting. If you could go any one place on vacation, where would you go? Did you hear me, or are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm thinking like I don't have like a.
Just pick a place. Like don't overanalyze everything.
Some place that's in the like upper 60s, but sunny, and I could golf and gamble.
Okay.
So speaking of golf and gamble, we didn't go over your hobbies.
Yeah, no, you started to ask and then sidetracked from there.
Yeah, I did.
What are your hobbies,
I've heard golf and gambling, which is ironic because you give me a hard time about gambling.
Well, no. See, no. There's well, okay.
What?
So I was gonna say, hold on.
He does.
Okay.
No.
I'm not that fan.
Pause.
No, you do.
I give you a hard time for your excessive amount of betting. Whereas when I say when I say gambling, I want to go like play table games and stuff. Be an active gambler, not a passive gambler.
No,
anyways,
I actively gamble by watching the game. That's
so
active.
You both like gambling, is what I'm hearing.
I like gambling.
Love it.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He just prefers to play cards
so
or chips.
Well, that answer wasn't very helpful, by the way.
Okay, so we keep sidetracking from my hobbies. So Yeah, I started golfing again. I hadn't for a long time. I've enjoyed getting back out golfing. I played, as Janelle likes to call it, old man softball. We just finished our season. That was
I love
nice
old
to
man
get.
softball.
It was fun to get back out with that. I've been coaching the kids baseball, so that's been good. I used to like shooting, although I haven't shot a gun in 3 years, 2 years.
You and Skylar did shoot her BB gun in the backyard.
Oh,
Does
that's
I
true,
get
we
half
did.
credit?
Sure.
Half credit. I'm gonna give you half.
I'm trying to have people I know help me get into hunting because I want to do that, but I just haven't done it my whole life, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Animal, proper size, shoot. Done.
Okay, sure.
What's up, Brian? What's up, Isaac?
Yeah, here you go. No, there's a lot more to it than that. Like, you have to field dress
At the
animal
right
and stuff.
time.
Yeah. Anyways,
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
like I've never field dressed an animal, so I don't know. I mean, I could figure it out. I just don't want to ruin meat in the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did camp a lot, but we don't. I keep trying to get the kids to do outside things. Skylar wants to be outside. Carson doesn't. So we find balance.
Yeah. Are you excited about your vacation next week?
I am very excited about my vacation.
Okay,
next
good.
week.
Aaron's taking a week off of work and going on a road trip with his family. Pray for him. And
Hopefully
we'll
there's
see how
no
that
red lights.
goes. Hopefully, because we're hitting the ball.
She's driving.
He looks so excited right now.
She's driving.
Driving. We'll hit all the green ones. We'll be fine.
Perfect. No, I'm very excited about our vacation. We're gonna go check out
Good.
some of Colorado because we haven't
Yeah.
yet. So I'm stoked for that.
We're going to cover a lot of ground and do a lot of stuff.
We're not gonna
Wish I
go
was there.
east. There's nothing there.
Me too. No, not east at all. South and west.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What's East Colorado? Like, why are you not going? Just cause?
There's just like nothing in East Colorado.
Oh, I don't know.
It's
It's just flat and boring and nothing.
land.
It kind of runs into
it's
Nebraska.
there.
Like you go from Eastern
It
Colorado
connects to places.
to Nebraska, and
Yeah.
I feel like Eastern Colorado is just Western Nebraska. So
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something else I know about you that you like to do is you like whiskey.
Oh, does he?
So
well, clarify. Correct
You like
yourself.
bourbon.
Thank you.
You like bourbon,
All
baby.
right.
Bourbon.
my
I know.
apologies.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Do better, Drew.
You like it that much that you haven't mentioned it yet, so that's weird. But yeah.
I like buying it. I can't drink it as much. I'm old and sad.
He does have quite the collection.
You just need to figure out the recovery aspect of it and find out what works for you so you can recover faster. That's all.
If we
There you
drank
go.
as quickly as he bought, we'd be dead.
Oh no. Of course. Yeah.
I've slowed down lately, but there was a period where, yeah, we'd literally be dead.
We'd be
Yes. No, I know. Trust me. I know. There was a point in time where he was sending me more than I could drink on my own. Not through the United States Postal Service, okay?
Yes.
dead.
That
Salad
was-
dressing.
No, it was through some other form of.
Anyways, did you have a question related to that bourbon instead of implicating me on the internet?
No one's listening to it. It's okay. Your favorite bourbon?
I like
Changes
this.
on different days, but let's
I
go
mean, I
with
feel like I'm
let's
trying
go
to
with
get to
Stag
questions
right
that
now.
people don't.
Stag.
The
That's
people
what I
don't know
would've
the
guessed.
answers to these questions.
let's go with Stag.
Stag. Okay.
That would have been my guess.
Do you have a favorite bourbon that you mix with?
I'm not a big mixer. Like I
Not
generally, if I drink bourbon, like it's generally either neat or rocks. Like I'm not an old fashioned guy. Like, yeah, like if it's something that I bought and I'm like, ooh, this isn't good, then maybe I'll throw some, soda or something in it. But generally, I just like to drink it straight.
Is there a holy grail of bourbon that you want?
So there's Stag and there's George T. Stag, right? Like I would love my own bottle of George T. Stag. I've drank it a couple of times. It's hard to get. I haven't tried some of the other high-end Buffalo Trace Antique collection that I really want to. The Thomas Handys, the William LaRue Weller, like that whole Buffalo Trace Antique collection is up there.
For those of you who don't know, like Buffalo Trace and Weller are like it's the same whiskey, it's the same bourbon, it just depends on where they age it in the barrels in the warehouse. Yeah. Makes the whiskey / bourbon different.
Yeah. And they only for those really high end ones, they are selective of which barrels qualify. Correct. And there's all these things that go into it. So
what year, how hot that year was, and how hot it was in that corner versus that corner. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, would I love to have some Pappy Van Winkle? Sure, but I'm not going to spend $4,000 on a bottle of bourbon because for $4,000 I can buy 40 fantastic bottles.
Okay, so let's just say you had. What's the one bottle that you no matter price? What's the one bottle that you wish you had?
I mean, obviously the most desirable.
What's your holy grail?
My realistic, which I don't even know if
I'm not. This is unrealistic,
no, sir.
This is the podcast.
What is the holy grail?
How about Double Eagle Very Rare?
Okay.
It's a $24,000 bottle.
There you go.
Sure, why not?
That's yeah. If you had if you had a shopping spree and they're like, hey, you can pick one bottle. What bottle are you picking?
I'm going to pick the most expensive one I can find. I mean, come on.
So I have a question. What do you enjoy more? Like the actual drinking and tasting of different bourbons or the thrill of finding and collecting?
It's probably the thrill in collecting. I don't have enough of a refined taste bud. Like when I taste bourbon, I taste it and I'm like, I like that or I don't like that. I don't go, oh, I taste notes of this and this and this. Like I don't have that refined palate. So finding stuff that people want.
I beg to differ. What? You do. You just don't choose to. No. I guarantee it.
Okay. Well, I don't outwardly do that, so therefore,
correct.
Finding things that are hard.
You're cutting yourself short.
At retail, is fun.
All right.
So, would you rather be colorblind or have no taste?
Colorblind for sure.
Yeah, colorblind. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I was trying to think of is there anything in my daily life that I care a ton about knowing color? I don't think so. And I feel like
if someone's like, hey, that's purple. Okay, cool, that's purple. But they can't tell me that tastes good.
Yeah.
I
think I mean, we grew up with black and white TVs. I could live there.
You're not that old, bro. Get out of here.
I had a black and white TV as a kid. You didn't?
You may have had one, but that's...
No. He looks that old.
He does. He does.
He does.
It's just the beard.
That's why.
Beards are very aging and it's very rustic and it looks
and very attractive.
It's not the gray.
By the way, I think I don't know what it is about the way I'm sitting today, but the shadow makes my beard look really dark right now. But then I come up here and it's there's all the gray. Oh, okay, there it is. But look back here, it looks so dark and solid.
You should do the Brian Wilson shoe polish.
Nope.
No, you should.
I know.
I like the gray.
Don't want shoe polish on my face.
I don't want it either.
And I like the gray.
That too.
That too. And 3 and 4.
Yeah, I'm bringing back the long beard. That's why I'm looking fluffy. I'm letting it grow out again.
Yeah.
She's happy.
So happy.
I don't know why I always do this at the wrong season. Like I grow out my beard in summer and then I shave it in winter. Like I don't apparently I don't know how to plan.
I feel like you're like a month early and then you should start growing.
Right.
And then just leave it.
Yeah.
Like
but I've been growing for over a month already.
Right. But it's hot.
Right. That's why I said it was a dumb choice, but I'm not going to go back now.
You're right. It is hot.
Jeez.
This is getting creepy. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Hopefully you guys have fun on vacation.
We're taking the kids. We're taking the kids, so.
Headphones. Noise canceling headphones.
All right.
Okay.
Too much.
Oh my. All right.
Oh my.
Well, I hope we learned a few things about Aaron that we didn't know before, but
and we love you very much.
Yes.
And you're a really good commissioner.
Fantastic. Like you have created this league and I've thoroughly enjoyed it and I bitch at you all the time, but it's really just out of love and
that's just
I want to make it better. I just want to make it better.
I've had we're in a new town. I mean, well, we've been here for a year and a half, but we have some people we're getting to know better and stuff. And I always tell people, I'm like, if you're polite to me, that means that you don't know me well enough and we're not close enough yet. It's not until you when you start giving me shit, I feel like I'm in. When you're just like, oh, hi, nice to see you. Hope you're doing well today. That means it's okay, you're a stranger and I don't trust you. So to me, it's a badge of honor when people start giving me shit.
All right. Well,
so yeah.
Let the shit coming happen.
Yeah.
That's right, because we're coming for you, champ.
The problem is I'm just going to win anyway, so.
Well,
2 years.
We'll see.
You guys will have a chance in 2 years.
Hey, you make me want to actually learn my team, so I'm coming for you, buddy.
I got to say, though, if CD doesn't get sorted out and Justin Jefferson taking a hit this year, then that is both of those things.
I might just start colluding with Janelle. We'll see.
All right, fair enough.
But I think I'm smart enough to figure it out to where you won't figure it out, even though I'm telling you right now.
We got this. Cheers, buddies.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Good times, y'all. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.